Hi guys, Happy New Year. Hopefully the last few minutes of your 2013 were as great as mine. This year me and Morgan and a friend of ours went downtown to watch the fireworks and we got to see David Miles, which was a lot of fun. Looked a little bit like this. And as you've noticed, I have a nice camera now. Well, it's not really mine. The friend that we went downtown with, well, he asked me to put his camera in my bag and then we kind of forgot about it, so I've been borrowing it the last couple days, just kind of experimenting. So I decided, you know, outside looks kind of like this.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
And I've got a nice camera, so I might as well take advantage of it. So, as promised, I'm going to do a knitting tutorial of the headband that I made Morgan for Christmas. I know you couldn't really see very much of it in our last video, but anyway, here it is. First thing you're gonna need is yarn, obviously. This one I bought in Lithuania while I was visiting my family over the summer, and it's an Italian, it's fancy yarn, Italian yarn. It's 64% wool. They don't really go by US size needles, so it's a size 6mm yarn, and to go with that I have my knitting needles, which these are 6.5mm, but it still works the same, or 10.5 US size. And then you'll need your cable needle to do the cable in the middle of the headband. This one just came in a pack of 3 at Michael's. It doesn't really matter what size it is because it's just going to be holding your stitches, so that's the cable needle. Next you'll need your darning needle, darning needle, and your yarn threader, which looks like that, so to sew up the ends at the end. And then optional, a crochet hook, just in case you lose some of your stitches and you need to pick them back up. It'll be easier than with a knitting needle, so that's why I have this handy. Scissors, of course, and then what I did with Morgan's is I lined it with like a fleecy material, so I bought this nice purple fleece to match this yarn at Fabricville. And then obviously to sew that up you need thread and needle like that. Okay, so this is a very bad drawing of basically what your headband is going to look like. You want to decide how many stitches wide you want each section of your headband to be. So these end parts are going to be knit, as well as your cable. Oops. And then the in-between parts are going to be purled. So for Morgan's headband, I made these end pieces, I made them 5 stitches wide. And then the whole cable was 8 stitches long, or wide, sorry. And then the purl parts were, I believe they were 3 stitches wide. So in total you would have 24 stitches. Okay, so I've cast on my 24 stitches, and then I'm going to start working in this pattern that I planned out. So I'm going to have 5 stitches, 5 knit stitches, 3 purl stitches, 8 knit stitches, another 3 purl stitches, and then another 5 knit stitches. So here we go. So you're gonna knit 5. This is a really awkward way to knit. Knit 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then purl 3. Oops. Purl 3. Then knit 8. I just lost a stitch. This is a really awkward way to knit. So 2, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then purl 3, 2, 3, and then knit the last 5. In the second row, all of the stitches that you knit in the previous row, you're gonna purl them, and all of the stitches that you purled in the previous row, you're gonna knit them. So now you're gonna purl the first 5 stitches rather than knitting them. Now knit 3 stitches. Now purl 8 stitches. Now knit another 3 stitches. Oops, sorry, the needles are banging against the tripod. And then, oops, purl the last 5 stitches. Okay, so I've repeated this row 1, row 2 pattern twice, so that'd be row 1, row 2, row 1, row 2. And now I am going to use my cable needle. So for this row, you're going to start off like you would normally for row 1. So you're going to knit 5. And then purl 3. Oops. And now, in the middle is where your cable is going to be. And since your cable is 8 stitches wide, you're going to want to split that in half and put the first 4 stitches of your cable on your cable needle. So you're going to put 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, on your cable, and you can kind of rest them in this little indented part. And you're just going to let them chill there for a little bit, and you're gonna knit the last 4 stitches of your cable, just leaving the first 4 stitches hanging there on the cable needle. Okay, now you're gonna knit the first 4 stitches of your cable, and you're gonna kind of push these stitches to the other edge of the needle, and you're gonna knit. It's kind of an awkward thing to knit, but you're gonna knit these 4 stitches of your cable off of your cable needle. Just make sure you don't lose stitches from your other needle. And there we go. You've completed your first cable twist. It looks kind of messy now, but once you continue knitting normally, then it will flatten out a little bit and it will look a little neater. And then you're just gonna continue your row like you normally would. Purling 3 and then knitting 5. Now you're gonna do your row 2 just like you did before, starting with purling the first 5 stitches. So I've just completed another row 2 pattern, and now you can see a little bit better the cable twist that I did in the previous row. After this, you are going to repeat the row 1, row 2 pattern another 2 times. So that means 2 more row 1s and 2 more row 2s. I just finished 2 more rows of row 1 and 2 more rows of row 2, alternating between them. And now I'm ready to do another cable row. So just as before, I'm gonna knit 5. Oops, that would be camera strap. So knit 5, purl 3, and then take your cable needle. Oh, I just lost a stitch. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to take the cable needle and transfer the first 4 stitches of your cable onto the cable needle. 3, 4, and then put them in that little curvy part. And it's really important that you keep the cable needle in front of your knitting work, because otherwise your pattern or your twist will not come out like you want it to. And then you're going to knit the last 4 stitches of your cable once more. Okay, now just like before, you're going to move these stitches that are on your cable to this side of the needle. Unfortunately, these cable needles have little grooves on them, and then my stitches get stuck. There we go. So you're going to move your stitches to the end of your cable needle and then knit those 4 off of your cable needle. There we go. Alright, so there's your second cable twist, and you're going to continue your row normally. Okay, so after this, it's basically just a repetitive pattern. You're going to do another row 2, and then after doing row 2, you're going to do another 2 repeats of row 1, row 2. So that's another row 1, another row 2, and another row 1, and another row 2, and then you're going to cable again. And you're just going to continue this pattern until your work is able to fit around your head.